Good morning, investors and corporates. Welcome to SET Digital Roadshow first quarter of 2023's performance review. This session will last 45 minutes, including the Q&A session. The company will start with a 30 minutes presentation. During the Q&A session in the last 15 minutes, investor may use the meeting room's chat box or raise your hand function. We will open the microphone so that you can ask the questions directly. May I now invite PTT Global Chemical Public Company Limited to start the presentation.
Thank you, investor, for joining us today. For today, you'll be giving the investor the update on the company for the current situation, the performance in the first quarter of the year, and also on the update on the strategic direction of the company. Firstly, in the first section, I'll be giving the update on the company overview. If you go to page 9, this is a quick snapshot on the current situation that the company is keeping the eye on in terms of the external factor. You will see that for the key impact for PTTGC, obviously we also look at the economic situation, especially the recovery so far this year. Since the reopening of China that was announced in the opening of the year, we can see that there was some positive sentiment that went into the market. Where we'll see that the pace of the recovery so far this year has been on more of like the gradual recovery, so not a big sharp recovery, as we already expected that there may be some bumpy in the pace of recovery. Especially there are some other factors that contributed to the market in the first quarter, as well as we can see from the external financial market risk. The inflation remained to be high, and also the impact from the banking sector earlier of the year, where we saw some collapse of some of the bank, which also may have spread into the real economic part as well. Beside that, we also look at the oil price volatility, especially the impact from the Russian crude oil, which earlier in this year, where some of the Western country, they tried to ban the Russian oil. However, we observed that some of those Russian oil, they're still able to be exported into the global market. So that put pressure on the oil price volatility and also impacted into the feedstock cost for the petrochemical market as well. If we look on the next page, which is on the GC internal efforts in the first quarter, you will see that we continue to try to optimize our production efficiency. For the refinery and aromatic, the spread were very good, so we were able to fully optimize on both of those plants. For the olefin, you will see that we had utilization rate at around 72%. The low level than normal. This is because due to we had the scheduled turnaround of our olefin 2/2 unit in preparation for the tie-in with the commercial operation of the OMP project, which will have more details on this project in the next pages. Other than that, we also have some internal effort that we continue on from the last year. The main one being our effort to transfer some of the business of the 100% owned subsidiary into GC itself. You will see on the page we completed transfer from 4 separate entities into GC, which in total we expect to help us reduce the operating cost by around 200 million baht per year. On the financial, you will see that we also try to reduce our financial costs, mainly from the bond buyback program that we have implemented in the first quarter and also in the second quarter so far. So far we already have bought maybe $100 to $150 million. This will help us to reduce the financial costs and also to de-risk our debt level as well. Given that the fund that we use for the funding of this bond purchase, we got the funding from the positive working capital that we got, mainly from the refund of the VAT that we received from the government earlier in this year. So that will help us to reduce the financial costs as well as to reduce the leverage level as well. And lastly, for the effort by Alnex, which is the specialty chemical company that we have acquired. They are the producer of the coating resin. And all throughout this economic downturn so far, we've seen that Alnex been able to maintain their contribution unit margin. The impact has been more on the lower sales volume. And in the meantime, they also try to continue to reduce their operating expense and also try to bring in new efficiencies, such as using some of the feedstock from Asia into the European and the US operation in order to help optimize the overall production cost of the group. This is the recap on the performance in the first quarter. So you will see that the positive improvement in both the revenue and the EBITDA. As you can see that the EBITDA increased up to 9.5 billion Thai baht, about 83% increase from the fourth quarter of last year. In terms of the net profit, we came in at 82 million Thai baht. You will see in terms of the overview for each of the business, as I mentioned, that in the upstream, both the refinery and the aromatic contribution were very good, especially the refinery, which the GRM still maintained at quite a good level at around $10 per barrel, which is supported by the high refined product margin throughout the first quarter. However, you will see that in the second quarter, some of those crack spread may have declined in line with the increased supply in the market and also the continuing concern on some of the demand for the product itself. For the aromatic, in the first quarter, the spread was quite in a good level, mainly driven by the gasoline price push. In the second quarter, we also expect the aromatic to still be continuing in a good momentum. For the petrochemical side, for the intermediate, you'll see that the EBITDA was softer. This is mainly due to the continuing new supply that came to the market in the first quarter. For the polymer, we see that the price picked up, mainly driven by the demand positive from the China reopening. On average, the polyethylene price increased by around $50 per ton. So we were able to have the positive impact from that. For TC itself, we expect that from the second half of the year onward, we should be able to have more ethane gas flow. So that will further help to improve our profitability on the olefin and the polymer chain. And lastly, if you look at the performance chemical, you will see that Alnex is still able to have good the unit profit margin per unit, still able to maintain on that. Some impact, mainly as I mentioned, was on the sales volume, which in the first quarter was increased from the fourth quarter of last year. However, the level of the sales volume still, we still think there's still room for improvement, and we expect to see those improvements coming in the second half of this year. And at which point we expect to see the performance from Alnex return back to its normal level. In the next page, this is the summary on the project of investment that we have in the pipeline. As you will see that over the past few years, we have completed almost all the projects that we have in the pipeline, which goes along with our strategy in that we try to enhance the EBITDA contribution from the specialty chemical, or what we call the performance chemical in the orange business unit. As you can see, we acquired Alnex, completed that in the end of 2021. This year we will have another plant coming up that has already been completed and already started full operation, called PTTGC. They will be producing the super engineering plastic. And beside that, in terms of the upstream, we try to enhance our feedstock flexibility and also try to enhance our cost competitiveness, as you will see from the project that we have completed. Beside that, we try to enhance our downstream extension as well, such as the tender offer for the Thai and also the expansion of HMC for the PP line number 4. So all those projects has been completed, and for this year we only just have a few projects remaining. Next year we will have nature work, our JV, they will complete the construction of the plant too. So that's why we don't expect the capex requirement for this year and next year to be that much as it was over the past few years. Next, I will have the recap on our strategic direction by Khun Panit.
Okay, next part I will give you a brief story on our strategic directions. So we have continued to implement action on our key corporate strategy, which we call 3-step plus strategy. We have the step change, which is the increasing the competitiveness of our current asset at Rayong here in Maptaput, Rayong, Thailand. And step out, we are seeking for the opportunity to grow in the international stage, as we, one of the examples, the acquisition of Allnex at the end of 2021. And the last step is the step up, which will be related to the sustainability. So for this page, in terms of the step change on our upstream business, this year we have the project which we call the Olefins Modification Project, or OMP. This one will be the modification of our olefin unit number 2 plant to enhance the capability of the plant to use more propane in the production process. So that will allow our overall olefins feedstock flexibility from using the propane as a feedstock from up to 29% in the past to be up to 40% in the future. So that will enhance our flexibility to choose the feedstock into our operation to matching with the competitiveness of each period of time. The second business unit is the polymers and chemicals. So we have the long-term target of having the HVP, or the high value products, to be around 56% within 2030 from the actual number of 36% in 2022. So the 4 key platforms that we are using to reach our target will be, on the left, the flexible packaging, rigid packaging, constructions, and emerging platform. We are going to transform the marketing capability. We are closing with the customer to co-work or to cooperate with the customer to develop the product that matching with the customer requirement. So on the right hand side, you can see the 4 new commercial products that we launched to the market and to the customers. One of the subsidiary company, JV company named Matrix Polymers at the bottom of the page. They are one of the rotomolding producers that built the new rotomolding plant here in Thailand with the total capacity of around 10 kiloton per annum, and already commercialized on the 1st of April of this year. So this is one of the examples that will support our target of having the HVP of 56% within 2030. So in this year, on the left-hand side, so this is the InnoPlus Solution Center that we have just completed the construction here at Rayong in Thailand, and this will be the place where our sales team and the product development team will work with our customer to develop the products to match with their demand or requirements. So after we complete the work with the customer, we have on the right-hand side the pilot plant to test the product, whether it will match with the final requirement of the customer or not, so that we help to reduce the risk and help to reduce the time of developing the products before handing to the customer in the market. Next business unit is the bio and circularity. The latest development is the getting approval from the Thai FDA of our recycled plastic from our JV company Envico. So we already get the approval from both US and Thai FDA, and one of the famous brand that we all know is the Suntory PepsiCo in Thailand already use this PCR PET in their CSD bottle already, and we hope to get, increased demand and increased order from the local brand or international brand in the future. The last business unit is the performance chemicals. The latest development on the left-hand side is the opening of the innovation hub here in Rayong, Thailand, where the innovation center will be the collaboration workplace between GC and Allnex, and also other subsidiary under GC umbrella. So this place will be the place that we can work together and develop product and seeking for the synergy of the products within the group of companies. So we already opened it in this year at the beginning of the year. And on the right-hand side, the development of Allnex, they already complete a mechanical completion in April of this year, and they will COD of this plant within July of this year, and that will add the additional production of Allnex by around 55 kiloton per annum, and that will help to support our long-term target to have the EBITDA contribution from this business segment of 35% within 2030. The last one will be another JV company, namely PTTGC Advanced Material. We joined with our Japanese partners, and we already COD in April of this year. PTTGC Advanced Material will be the HSBC and PNIT producers that can serve to the variety of end market. For example, the consumer goods, the automotive, E&E, and medical and baby products. So this is our first engineering plastic plant in Thailand, and we hope that in the future, PTTGC Advanced will contribute a number of the NI for us in the short and long term. So in terms of the financial highlight, I think Khun Paveen already mentioned at the beginning of the meeting. So I will pass the floor to Khun Sanjira to give you a brief on our ESG implementation.
For the ESG part, we ranked number one for consecutive years. For 4 consecutive years under the DJSI index, and this slide showing that we are committed to achieve our medium and long term to net zero company. And here to 2030, we will achieve the 20% reduction by 2030, and to attain the net zero under scope 1 and scope 2 reduction by 2050. And now we set out 3 pillars to achieve those net zero target by 3 pillars here. The yellow one is the efficiency driven. This is to maximize our efficiency across all assets and to implement the new technologies and the cleaner technologies to reduce the carbon emission and the waste emission. And the next is the portfolio driven. This is to adjust our business into low carbon business. And the last one, the green one, is the compensation driven. This is to use our carbon unit to capture the carbon and by carbon utilization unit. And next one is our medium term that we have dropped out our initiatives in the pipeline to achieve the 20% reduction in the medium term by 2030. Here is the approximately 2 million tons to reduce. And the first one is the efficiency driven. We've planned that we will take the new technology by improve our plant, and we will procure some cleaner energies. This will help to reduce around 0.8 million tons in 2030. And in the blue one, we allow our business to have some growth, like the recent transaction that we enter into is Envico business that we produce the recycled plastic for around 45,000 tons per year. And that next year, we will have the plant, PLA plant number 2 that will produce the PLA for the amount of the 75 tons per year. And the last one is the compensation driven. As I mentioned that we have the plan with our PTT group that to build the CCS hub unit. And we also have the plan to have the CCS hub units overseas, like in the United States. And of course, deforestation will help to reduce the emission from the air as well. So that's all is our action plans to achieve the medium term. And this page is shown that we just grant 2 awards from the Asset Platinum. First is the Best Sustainable Link Loan, and the second is the IR Team Award. And the third one is that we just engaged with the SCB Bank that to enter into the sustainability link swap loans. This means that we apply that the carbon emissions will have the impact on the operational business as well, and we are committed to reduce the carbon emission as we planned. So this will help to reduce our financial costs under the sustainability linked swap loan.
The session has come to an end. So on behalf of the Stock Exchange of Thailand, I would like to thank you investors and corporate for joining the conference. We look forward to welcome you all again in the next quarter. Thank you very much and have a good day. ขอบคุณนะคะ